Hey, it's Walt with One Fall WrestleCast. Hey, Derek, man, listen, we talked about this before you came in. Like, you're fucking my life up. Okay.
Don't
Anyways,
do it.
uh, so we got a lot to talk about, man. Tony Storm broke the internet this week. We're gonna talk about that, man. I mean, I feel like that goes without saying, right? Um, Joey Janela's in the news. Can't wait to get Tom's opinion on this one. This is going to be fantastical. There's some crying stars that have been released from WWE. Maybe they're finally coming to the realization they're not as good as they thought they were. The AEW video game. We're gonna touch on that. Derek's getting ready to all amped up, right? And a bunch of people are pissed off about things that the Undertaker said again. They must have missed it the first go around. But I don't know. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hop in. We're gonna talk the talk, and yeah.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Hey,
What the hell just happened?
dudes.
What the hell just happened?
What do you mean?
Jesus.
Did I miss something?
No, I missed something.
I must have missed something.
I got nothing.
What?
Little flamingos.
Is the do we have a guest by the name of JBL today? Is that what's going on, or what is this?
The flamingos.
It's the pink JBL.
I was not ready for this.
What's funny?
Nothing.
I mean, this is pretty.
Just
funny.
another normal
That
day.
is pretty funny. That's
The
like
octopus. Man, these
Rock-
things just keep popping up.
I know, right?
I can't help myself.
That one's at least not as offensive as
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
one. Although that one was my fault. But the Rocktopus. That one's like, if I had that, I would put it up on. It would just like hang on something in the background of. I would like build a shelf just so it could be like. I wouldn't. That's a little too much for me though. I don't know that.
I mean, just order one, pal.
Yeah, just
I
get it
sent
on
you
Etsy.
the actual link.
I know you did. I saw. And it was too early in the day. Had it been, much later, and had I had like a half a bottle of whiskey or something, which I didn't drink that much that night, maybe I would have purchased one. But instead I went out today and I bought Elden Ring because apparently I really hate myself.
Yeah, clearly, because I mean,
Apparently. Yes.
I'm not much of a RPG kind of guy like you. You know what I'm saying? But like, I've heard nothing but just time disastrous things around.
Jesus, is it hard? Yeah, it's pretty tough, and there's some spots
It's
where I'm
almost
just
like
like,
wonderfully awful things.
It's like, how do I get through this? And then today I realized after I'd killed like all the things and then got killed on like the next like one enemy, I was like, wait, I bet I can just ride through this, and I just rode right through it. And get killed once. So I was like, all right, hey, guess what? They respawn anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered whether I'd have killed him or not. Rode right through him. Because I killed him once, and then I got killed by the next one enemy because I had that much health bar left. And he was like, phew. And I was like, son of a... But whatever. It's fine.
It is what it is. I mean,
It is. So was there wrestling this week? I feel like there might have been wrestling.
There was.
I
I mean,
don't know. It was fine.
yeah, fine.
It was like...
Listen,
There was some Monday Night Raw build, or there was some WrestleMania build.
so I really feel like we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this. They announced that Cody Rhodes signed his WWE contract like 2 weeks ago.
They
Like, I
did
really
indeed.
feel like they fucked the pooch on that. They should have just left us wondering.
They should have look because nobody knew. I mean, it was literally the perfect. Like it would have been like the only other way that like this was good like this is remember when John Moxley signed with AEW.
Yes.
And it was like everybody sort of thought he was going to sign, but like nobody confirmed it. Nobody had any idea. And then he like popped out and it just showed up at like the
Yeah, he put
pay-per-view.
that little teaser movie out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did it the right way.
And then he just showed up. Like there was no like, oh yeah, he actually signed 3 weeks ago. I don't know who spilled the beans because WWE didn't announce it. It was somebody spilled the beans.
Yeah.
And so I don't know who spilled the beans, but I feel like I agree with you that that's a what a missed opportunity. And I think that Vince is still going to try to use it as an opportunity because it wasn't announced in a way that like a lot of people that weren't like just pro wrestling fans who are like just the internet wrestling community is going to know, but like when he shows up, half the people watching aren't going to know.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless they like tease him like they're teasing Veer Mahan, like Veer Mahan coming to Raw, Cody Rhodes also coming to Raw. So now what? Who's gonna show up first, Cody or Veer?
Cody.
It's probably Cody. Yeah, I think 100%. Cody too. I'm almost. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more. But
So it's been a slow week in wrestling, right?
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Whenever I have to physically do this, and like I already know where this is going to go, right? So Joey Janela has been in the news an awful lot this week. Obviously, from the fact that
great picture of him,
been very adamant that he's not going to re-sign his AEW contract, and then it's come out this week that the AEW locker room feels that he is inherently dangerous in the ring. And Derek, I'm gonna put to you first, man. Like Joey Janela, buy or sell, man. Like, because we already know where this is gonna go with Tom. So let's just go ahead and get you out of the way right straight quick.
Well, I like how you worded it there that he chose not to re-sign his AEW contract because I feel like maybe you misspoke a little bit because I think probably the real thing was he was not offered to re-sign a contract. I mean, we've got fucking Peter Avalon and Dolph Ziggler's brother over here on Dark, and they're doing better than Janela. What's that tell you about his talent?
I can't believe they brought Peter Avalon back. They were like definitely about to get rid of Peter Avalon, and they're like, you know what? No, Peter Avalon, get him in there.
He's our rag better than the bad boy.
He's our rag
guys. No one's gonna know any better about wrestler in ring safety than the wrestlers themselves. So if the girls and guys in the back are saying that he's dangerous, who's gonna go up against that? What? I'm not gonna argue with that. Hey,
I'm so glad you're taking.
If they're not feeling safe, then they're not feeling safe. Sorry, Joey, that you got called out there, bad boy. But why don't you just go back to the Popwell Fairgrounds and finish up your career where you started at? Maybe you and Enzo can actually get a match in now.
That would be
great. Nice. Can we get Enzo in AEW, please?
Enzo's actually higher on the card than Joey Janela is because Enzo and Kaz XL will be facing the Hardy Boys here at some event coming up pretty soon. So yeah,
he's looking good now that he's jacked up on the roids.
Yeah, he's been hitting that roid needle seriously hard. He looks like $1 million though. I mean, truth be told, look, I mean, I don't know if he can wrestle any better and not wrestle. He was one of those guys, Enzo. He was one of those guys who could wrestle, but like he would hurt himself and not so much the people he was in the ring with, which is fine. He's trying for things. Oh crap! Suicide dive. No one's there. Oh god! Smash into the table. Like that was him. But as far as
could talk anybody into the building though.
For sure, absolutely. Just give the guy a microphone. I think some people found him annoying, but man, I always found him entertaining. Like when he was talking, and one of the best talkers that I've heard, in a long time. But back to Joey Janela, who is not a good talker. So. It's really funny that it came back to this, right? It's really funny that this is where we are with Joey Janela in AEW here, because at first, do you remember all the AEW mark? Joey Janela's gonna be a world champ finally, Finally, he's getting to show he can really go. Oh my God, Joey Janela tears the house down. Everybody loves Joey Janela. What a good wrestler. And then you get all these like, Joey Janela taught himself how to wrestle and blah, 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 and like hyped him up, talked him up. And then he gets on TV and he stinks. Puts on a stinker after stinker after stinker. And then after putting on said stinkers is relegated to AEW Dark as a jobber, where not only is he putting on stinkers, but he's hurting people. And you find out after the fact, because we watched a lot of these matches just to kind of make fun of him about it, but like there were plenty of things where he's like, man, that hurt. Like you'd see him throw a thing and be like, that hurt. He didn't do that right. That looked terrible, and it looked like it hurt. It was like those Shane McMahon rabbit punches that like are landing, and they look terrible. And they also hurt like hell. That was Joey Janela, except he wasn't Shane McMahon. We come to find out that actually the reason that the Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston thing got dragged out for so long and became such a like slow plodding thing is because Joey Janela, as they were starting this on Dark, kicks Eddie Kingston with a super kick in the face, breaks his orbital bone.
Yeah.
So literally breaks the orbital bone as it's starting. So now we have to involve, now it has to be just talking, more talking, drizzle it out over weeks and weeks, and I think a month, 2 months. It ended up being dragged out over. So it wasn't because they thought the story needed 2 months. It was because his orbital bone was broken by an errant Joey Janela kick, and I feel like that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? I mean, you can only break ribs in for third tier talent guys so long, but the second that you break a rib for Sonny Kiss, you almost kill the world champion a year ago. Remember when he almost killed Kenny Omega? I remember when he almost killed Kenny Omega on television. And then you break Eddie Kingston's orbital bone as he's about to go into a feud with Jericho, and, maybe in the back you go, you know what? Maybe we don't need this guy, because this guy ain't going to draw anybody's money, and quite frankly, he keeps screwing us over here, and forget him. So, it's going to make me sad to not be able to harp on Joey Janela as a trash human being and just a trash wrestler. And just somebody who I don't admire both on a personal level and and on a wrestling level. You know what I mean? Like he seems to be just like a person. Not only do I not want to watch on television, but I don't want to be his friend not on television. Like I don't want to watch myself wrestle on TV, but I also don't. I also like to be friends with myself. And same with you guys. I wouldn't watch you guys. I mean, I might the first time, but I wouldn't watch you guys wrestle on TV necessarily. I wouldn't draw much money, but I like being friends with you. I don't feel like I would neither watch Joey Janela on TV nor be friends with him. So it's gonna make me sad to not make fun of him anymore on this podcast, as I feel that we've really done a lot for that man's career by making fun of him. But I'm really, really happy that that Tony Khan has actually done the right thing and hired the good fucking talent and let go the bad fucking talent. And this is all I've wanted for AEW for the last 2 years. And I'm so glad there's 2 years, there's like a year plus of archive of me saying this. That I want them to succeed, but they gotta get rid of all these guys that suck. We gotta get rid of all the guys that stink and bring in all the guys that are good. And in the last 6 months, that's all they've done is just get rid of all the guys that stink, bring in all the guys that are good. So now I'm watching every week.
I tell you what, honestly, I feel like the pandemic was the best thing that could have happened to AEW at the time, because that triggered the budget cuts, which triggered obviously the talent cuts, which got us to this point. And all of a sudden, you have what was a C-class roster.
Whoa!
Is now significantly overhauled.
Wow! What?
I'll admit it. It's been 2 years. I know.
Oh my goodness!
Welcome to the dark side.
I know.
But anyway. In the immortal words of the Incredible Hulk, I see this as an absolute win. Because, man, all the bad talent's gone. Look, they're getting rid of Joey Janela. Who'd they bring in? Keith Lee. I'll take that.
Me?
I'll take that
Fair
trade
trade.
every
Sure.
day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't. Nope, not at all.
All right.
Nope. You're
Okay.
talking about one of the original pillars of AEW. How disrespectful. He got in a fight with Enzo at the fairgrounds for this company.
He did. He almost fist fought Enzo. Enzo, I don't know if you heard this because you dropped out for a sec. I was joking about how Enzo is now higher on the card than Joey Janela is because Enzo and Kaz XL will be fighting the Hardy Boys here shortly.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a main event caliber match on whatever show that's going to be on.
Yes.
Versus, is Joey Janela going to do? Joey Janela ain't doing anything like that. So, yeah, it's been good.
Hey, you know that there's still a bubble of folks in WWE that want to bring Cass and Enzo back.
I mean,
And,
I wouldn't be upset with that.
They've been teaming up.
I mean,
an
I'm
awful
tuning
lot
in
here
every time they're
recently.
on television. So, you know, those YouTube videos of theirs would take a big jump too. You know, WWE throws up YouTube videos all the time, right there,
Yep.
millions. Perfect clips. They're the perfect extra clips like that. Enzo throws a promo. Done.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I thought, I always thought they were both maybe a little bit too not inexperienced. That's not immature, and you know, I think that they had to learn their lesson the hard way. They really did, and it seems like they both come out the other side a lot better for it. As better human beings, hopefully. I mean, Enzo, I think he just kind of got screwed because he seems like he might kind of be an asshole in real life, but still, you know, you need those people. Like Shawn Michaels was an asshole in real life, and he did great. Brett, so was so was Ric Flair. It's not, you know, this isn't. It's not a personality type that doesn't gel well with you know, wrestling. But I feel like, you know, they were maybe a little too immature at the time in just where the company was at the time. But I feel like if they come back, I feel like if they come back a little more mature, but at the same time still be able to, obviously, I mean, he didn't forget how to talk. You know,
Right.
they could still be. They're still a very cohesive. They're friends. They still know how to work together. I think they would be a fantastic team to bring back to the WWE, especially while the WWE is kind of hurting for tag teams. And Enzo's a lot bigger now. He's been
he's been jacked.
He's been hitting the juice, and so I mean, look, Vince loves that. So you know, as long as Vince as long as you're not hitting the juice.
That.
Look, as long as it ain't
No,
happening.
we're talking about Capri
Capri
Suns here. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
It's just on the Capris.
yeah, he's on
not
the Capri
on the-
Suns.
On the juice.
Not that juice. He's on like the Donald Duck.
Chimney Christmas. It's going to be the 1990s all over again with the steroid trial. Oh,
the
Tom dead. We're fucked, man. We're going to get all this C talent that doesn't have any grit or any balls.
Oh, the grit. Let's get to the grit.
I mean, per the Undertaker, at least. So there's a lot of these tweets and shit out there right now about the Undertaker going on this podcast, the Georgie Porgy, whatever the fuck it was, and talking all this craziness.
A lot of these are funny.
Professional locker rooms.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling's locker rooms when he did this shit fucking 6 months ago on Joe Rogan.
He did.
And nobody said shit.
It was crazy when because he was on Joe Rogan saying basically the same thing. And it's like that podcast is so much more watched by just people. And like there's, you know, whatever, 6 million people a week listen to Joe Rogan. I'm sure maybe even more when somebody like The Undertaker is on there.
Sure, you're going to reach a much more diverse audience at that point. If you can get any more diverse than 6 million.
Yeah, he's on some random podcast and says he joked like you can play the sound clip and it's like he's clearly kidding. Like, and also it's like the Undertaker didn't do a lot of things out of kayfabe for a long time. So like nobody
Joe was like one of the first interviews that he did. Like
out of kayfabe.
The full, like some of these clips, I'm on the page right now. I'm on Joe Rogan's YouTube page right now. Some of these clips, like 2-minute clips, have 4 million views, 2.9 million views. Like, this is wild. So you're going to tell me that 6-7 months ago, whenever he said the same shit, nobody cared. but now all of a sudden.
I mean,
Hey,
and he was
you're missing the one little granular detail here that we canceled Joe Rogan, guys. Remember?
yeah, he's been canceled, didn't we
Yeah,
know?
that's obviously
Who canceled Joe Rogan?
the
I don't know.
world, Chico.
I don't know, not me. I'm still a
I mean, I
Spotify
listened to him
subscriber, so-
yesterday.
He's totally canceled in the world. I heard it on the
Look-
radio, man.
Look,
It was a
man,
big
don't
deal. I
you-
forget why he pissed people off.
Don't you listen
He
to
did.
Fox News? He's canceled, right?
Yeah.
Don't you listen?
Bro,
Like-
maybe this is why like I feel like I have such a just a great simple life. I don't listen to anybody else's bullshit.
Just ours.
Just ours.
Don't you listen to what Fox News would have you convinced that they're canceled and that like the media is ignoring the things that they're talking about. Never mind that they're part of the media, like a big chunk of it. But still, the media is
Probably
not
one of the
talking
big-
about Yeah, the media is not talking about this, although they're the
that's wild.
fucking media. They're
That's
the
wild.
media. Yeah, it's the
Everyone's
same thing.
lying to you.
Yeah, I
They're all,
don't-
except us. The media lies to you.
Listen,
except this
you-
part of the media.
this is great, right? Because like I told my wife a couple of weeks ago, and not to like go off the rails. I was like, she goes, "Oh, I had a cough." She goes, "Oh, you better go get tested." I said, "Honey, COVID's not trendy anymore. We have a war to fight."
It's not trending.
We gotta fight.
There's new shit on the news now. Have you
We
not
gotta
watched?
fight the we gotta fight the Russians now, man.
Bro, I don't
We're
pay
not
attention to
we're
none
not
of
e-
that noise.
We're not even fighting the Russians either. It's the Ukrainians that are fighting the Russians. We ain't even fighting the Russians.
But I'm backing the shit out of them, though. I'm down. Kick their asses. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Let's keep.
so-
We just keep sending them RPGs. They'll keep blowing up Russian tanks, and it'll hit the news and it'll make me happy. That's all I want.
But
I just
fucking-
can't wait until we get a big bad Russian villain back in wrestling. You know that's coming.
Oh,
The fact that it hasn't happened already is Nikolai
Oh.
Kozlov and
hey,
Yeah.
maybe
Someone's
maybe
already
Harlan-
talked Vince off
Harlan
that
will be
cliff.
the
I
new-
guarantee you.
the new Russian
Harlan. He could be.
or Harlow or whatever the fuck his name
No,
is.
yeah, Harlan is his name.
Oh man, that guy's got potential. He's going to do good things once he
He
starts
is.
actually talking.
Hey, so not to go too far off the rails here, but I hear Omos is going to actually have a singles match at WrestleMania. Hear me out, Harlan.
I'm fine with that.
Really?
I mean, it's really like. Do you remember when the Great Khali had singles matches? I feel like that watching Omos. It's very like he stands
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
the ring and people run at him. Occasionally they hit him once and he goes, "Oh!" but then like he gets him, he's, "Ah!" And that was, I mean, that's what he does. It's like, "Oh my god, oh, the giant almost like," but this dude can't walk either.
Yeah.
Like look at him when
Yeah.
he walks. He walks in the same way that like the Great Khali walks, and it's like, this is
Yeah, he's got that giant guy walk. Like remember
Yeah.
when we were at AEW in Pittsburgh and Big Show made his television like in-ring television debut or whatever,
oh yeah.
and he come walking down, and that was the only thing that we talked about. Look at him walk, man. He's just his lower half's just so beat to shit for being so big.
But
They all walk that way.
But to be fair to the Big Show, he still moves as a 50-some-year-old man better than Omos does.
Hey, by the way, happy birthday to Sting. That was yesterday, 63.
What is he, 63? Good God.
Yeah. Still
Oh,
doing
Still
it,
going,
man.
putting people to tables.
Still doing it.
He's putting an ass every 18 inches. That's for damn sure.
Oh, Uncle
He-
Sting.
And man, I'll tell you what. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that can put butts in seats. I mean,
Yo, and we shit all over that.
well, it would have put my butt in the seat, but it put some butts in the seats
Yeah.
for that being there. I think as a product, I don't like. I feel like not criticizing it is like because Goldberg puts butts in seats too, right?
Yeah.
But like, and it's like, but we criticize that, so it's a very similar. I mean, at least they're not putting Sting in the main event, I suppose, but still they're trotting him out there. They're kind of doing the thing. And
In
I'm not-
defense of the ripping of Sting, though, he did come out to the glacier entrance with the snow, and so the initial,
It's dope, though.
is it's that.
Hey, but
There's
for
gonna be a
real,
blizzard.
for real. What do you think? Should I leave it?
I mean, it kind of doesn't fit with the headset on.
Nah, it didn't work with the headphones.
Yeah. I don't know.
But hey, you want to know who else puts butts in the seats? Fucking Undertaker puts butts in the seats.
Yes, he does.
So here's the thing, guys, and I said this whenever this came out the first time in one of my little opinions. Okay, if you're upset about this and you feel like he's talking about you, it's because he fucking is. So you might want to listen to what the man's got to say because he's had a pretty successful fucking career. So yeah. That's all I gotta fucking say about that shit.
I mean, truth be told, I think he's more kidding, really, than anything else. He's exaggerating, to say the least. It was like, nobody's gonna stab anybody in the shower. It's like, nobody stabbed anybody in the shower. Like, that didn't happen.
Yes, it absolutely happened.
Who stabbed who? And didn't go to jail for
fucking down in Puerto Rico. Bruiser Brody got stabbed.
Yes, Bruiser Brody got stabbed by a non-wrestler. He was murdered in Puerto Rico.
I'm just saying, like, he got stabbed in the shower, pal.
That's not the same. Nobody's willing. He was the wrestler. He was the one that got stabbed. Okay. Anyway. Ugh, why do I have this? 8 days away.
Hey. So WWE is really putting this in our face that Roman Reigns has been the Universal Champion for 567 days.
I love it.
But if you'll look right underneath of that, Becky Lynch said, "Oh, that's cute. I'm over 600." Here's my question. Okay. I think that it's great that they're celebrating the fact that Roman's like this long reigning champion. Hey, Jackie in the chat. Good to see you back. We'll get to you in a minute, but you know, we've got trying to do this whole thing with Roman Reigns and like really making this long running champion and stuff. But are they glossing over this Becky Lynch thing? Like, does she have a legitimate gripe here? I think is my question.
Well, her run was broken up though, right? I mean, that's how the count goes.
So I guess what they're doing here is she started saying this and they just ran with it, right? That she's never lost a championship in that many days. She vacated her title,
right?
But she's not been pinned for her title. That's the story. So, like,
sure.
I mean, I see where your argument is that like there was another champion in between there, but in their storyline and the way that they're trying to do it, she is 600 days.
No, I mean, I think it's cool. Actually, truthfully, I think it's very on brand for Becky. Do I think she has a legitimate gripe? No, I think she's absolutely got a kayfabe great story to just throw out there as like, hey, yeah, good for you, but I'm at day 600, and you know that could be her. That's obviously an unofficial count, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's cool. It's cool. It's fun. It's fun to work into the storyline. Honestly, everything they've been doing with the throat punches and the Becky's was legit, but then she came back and legit she came back and like kayfabed what's her face or
Bianca Belair,
Bianca's throat. Yeah,
bro, hey, how great is that too? By the way, like if that is not legit and they're kayfabing us, WWE's all in on it because they pulled her from some meet and greets this week because of her throat injury. So it'd be awesome if WWE's actually kayfabing us.
There's no way that's not kayfabe, right? Like
but then you get into the thing though too, the slippery slope from the business standpoint too. Like you advertised Bianca Belair to do a meet and greet, and all these little girls are going to come out to see Bianca Belair, and then you pull her because of a storyline. Like there's a fine line to walk there.
Business and storyline go well above card is subject to change disclaimer down at the bottom of the poster. Screw that. I'm pulling her for storyline reasons if I want to, especially during around WrestleMania season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Especially at WrestleMania, I expect this. If it's not, if it wasn't WrestleMania season, if WrestleMania weren't in a few weeks, I would be like, oh no, it's legit. But I think that it's kayfabe.
So let me get this straight, Derek. You actually think that WWE's kayfabing us?
Yes, very much so. This is not real, bud.
Who is this?
There's no way this is real. You really think it's this here?
No, I don't
broke.
think.
Like no.
No, I
No,
don't
this
think.
is a bone that you break whenever you hang yourself.
What about the
This is
kids, man?
not real.
What about the
This
kids?
is not even close to real. This is
Kids don't
Bruce
buy
Pritchard's high
pay-per-views.
ass sitting out on his back porch smoking a
Nobody
doobie, being
buys
like,
pay per
"What kind
views.
of
We
bone
view
can we
premium
break?"
live events.
No, kids don't buy T-shirts. I don't know.
Listen, I agree with you guys. I really feel like they're keeping it kayfabe on us, and I really hope that they are, because if they are, that's fantastic. And I think that shows a little bit of that story continuity that like we've all been kind of wanting. So hopefully that's where it's at, man. Really, for real. Hey, so Jackie in the chat said they're gonna make Cody the IC champ and then lose the belt and then program him with Reigns, then he loses. That's what the dirt sheet said. Jackie, I'd like to know specifically which dirt sheet that was. Louis in the chat, it's definitely kayfabe. Heard that, pal. I applaud them if it is. I genuinely applaud them if it is. But hey, real quick, man, Jackie, like I'm talking, what dirt sheets put that shit out? Like, you can only believe maybe a quarter of what you hear. I feel like that's a pretty strong play. What about you, Tom?
If that, first of all, everything is subject to change. That may have been thrown out there at one point. Hey, let's put the IC title on him at Mania, and then let's have him lose to Roman, and have him lose it, and then have him lose to Roman at some point. Yada yada. Maybe that was thrown out there. I don't know that that's what's going to happen. I think if they put a mid-card belt on him at Mania, like the IC title or something, I don't know. I think that's sort of the stepping stone. I don't think that gets him right to Roman necessarily. Truth be told, I don't think that he fights for a belt for a little while. I think that he inserts himself into this Stone Cold, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens type of dealie. And I don't think Stone Cold fights at WrestleMania. I think Stone Cold's there. And I think maybe Cody fights Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
Oh, so you think they're going to pull a bait and switch on us?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that
he's
is
already
a-
said
that
it's
is
going
a-
to be a segment.
That is a Bruce Pritchard move.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bait and switch. I think that somehow it turns out that Stone Cold's there, Stone Cold says something, and Cody then fights Seth Rollins. I don't know what happened. It probably doesn't matter what the outcome of that is, but at the end of it, a bunch of people get stunners, drinking some Steve Weisers. Wow. WrestleMania moment for everybody right there. And look, all three of those guys would be into every second of that. They would be like, yes, make that my WrestleMania moment with Steve Austin. Let me have a little match. Let's do a little thing. Let's get some time here. 20 minutes there, 25 minutes there. Stone Cold Steve Austin, special guest referee. Seth Rollins, put KO on commentary for it. I mean, how good it could like. There's so many ways you can work this, and I think it becomes like you make something out of nothing, right? You didn't really have anything. Some of the two of your biggest talents didn't really have anything. They were but they carried shows on their back. But as far as storylines are concerned, they weren't like in a title picture. So what do? You put them with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You reinsert a Cody Rhodes, and it ends whatever that segment is with stunners and middle fingers and beer drinking and
Yeah, dude, but I still got to feel like just because like you get the rub from Stone Cold, like this is still Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, and like the fact that like Seth Rollins still doesn't have a match, and like we're gonna lump him into this whole bait and switch thing, man, it just disappoints me as a fan.
well, and I think that maybe this year it's different, but for this at the same time, I mean, Seth Rollins has been in title matches every WrestleMania. I mean, Roman has
because
too.
he deserves to be there.
Sure, absolutely he does. But at this time it just wasn't there. He went away for a little while to have his kid, bounced back and forth between shows because they needed him on stuff. I mean,
I'll give you that, but
he
if you need him on Raw and you need him on SmackDown and he's pulling double duty and you're leaning on him, why not pay him off at the biggest show of the year, man? Like I think that it's a questionable decision if I'm being honest.
Well, I think long term, I don't think that there won't. I don't think any of us here would if somebody were to tell me Seth Rollins isn't going to get a main title run again, like he's going to get multiple more title runs, like
Thank you,
multiple,
Tom. Yes.
like he's going to be, he's probably going to wear the belt at least 4 more times, at least
4.
at least 4 more times. I would look how quickly he's gonna. The man's
Because
he's
I
a young
really
man.
think that you're drinking this WWE kayfabe Kool-Aid here when you're seriously thinking that Seth Rollins is going to go into. He might go into WrestleMania without a match on paper with the television product, but in the little notebook in the back where they keep the storylines all written down and straight so that the old man can remember what exactly he did from week to week. Yeah, he's got a match, and that match is with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
That's absolutely what's going to happen.
and it's probably got time.
I'm here for it.
And it's probably got time. Like that's the thing. Like let's, we could pretend like the belts are important, yes, but the moments are important too. So if you're not fighting for a title, what's the moment you want? Well, I want the moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin and the return of Cody Rhodes and stunners and beer drinking and all that. Like that's the moment you want, right? Especially
Yes, I would
if
like to
you
sign
are-
up for all that, please. Yes.
Yeah, it's like,
the
well, am I going to be the champ? Am I going to be the champ? Does that work into storyline? No, not this year. Okay, can Stone Cold give me a stunner and drink beer? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that's what I want to be involved in. Like that's
deal.
It's to me. There's like 2 top tiers, right? There's like Universal Champion, WWE Champion. If male, Universal Champion, WWE Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's it. Those are like the top 3. Can I have a top 3 spot? Yeah, you can have the Steve Austin.
I mean,
spot.
I can't argue with you. I can't. Okay, like
Give me that.
Austin is absolutely a polarizing figure. Okay, and maybe you're right. I just think that it's crazy to not make money off of Seth Rollins. That's my thing. Like, how you gonna not advertise?
They're gonna make.
Cody Rhodes.
Well,
They're gonna make money.
WrestleMania doesn't need advertising. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, he's kind of right on that. Is it just
The card doesn't matter. It could be
we just
Joey
need
Janela
to say
versus
well,
Nyla Rose, and we'd be like, "Oh, it's WrestleMania. I'm gonna watch it."
No. I would watch
I still
that.
need to see intriguing matchups, pal.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna be invested in it. If
I'm
it's
not
a fucking
saying you
shitty card.
specifically. I'm saying the public in general.
I mean, yeah, okay, like the
still gonna
general
sell out
casual fan.
Cowboy Stadium or something, just from the name.
It's gonna be and I think it's I'm excited for it. I do think we're gonna get a little bit of tease for it. I don't know that it's gonna be announced or
I mean, they've been dropping hints about Cody Rhodes for weeks.
yeah, and we already know that Stone Cold's gonna be there, so I really do think that that's they want to make it a surprise too, because that's part of WrestleMania, right? Like surprising things happening at WrestleMania. That's
If they wanted to make it a surprise, then they should have kept their fucking mouth shut that he signed his contract.
Well,
Yeah, I really wish they would have made Stone Cold a surprise because he cuts that little vignette on the
No, because they want to pay money
for
for they want to get paid for that.
yeah, they want to get paid for Stone Cold.
So it's
feel you.
okay to advertise
Yeah.
Stone Cold, but it's
They
not okay to advertise Seth Rollins. Just making sure that we're on the same page here, guys. That's all.
Yeah, okay, I'm there. I'm with you.
I suppose.
You can't have it both ways, right?
Buddy, Seth Rollins doesn't sell me on buying a pay-per-view
Well, that's
or a
because you're a
premium live
punk
event.
bitch. That's why you like
But that's
things
because I'm
like
sick of his snarky bullshit.
yeah.
Really, I think it's
Everything's
great.
over animated. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Really? You don't like
Jared
that?
Leto wannabe?
I'm like-
Fucking move on.
Oh no, it's so good. I'm gonna go see Morbius too when it comes out on
Hey.
Friday.
Newsflash to everybody that's watching. Hey, real quick while you're here, hit the like button. We appreciate you being here, spending your evening with us. By the way, Derek hates all things that are good in pro wrestling. Moving on. So we got some sour grapes this week, man.
About to spit out my drink.
Top Dollar
That'd have been
and,
abuse.
Jonah Rock, a little upset about some things that have happened since their WWE release. Okay, let's start with Tom's boy Jonah, right?
Jonah's been on stuff though. Like he
has, but here's the thing, right? Just embrace the grind, pal. Why you got to keep bringing NXT up? Like you landed a job, okay? you're
that.
working, and you had Impact for New Japan and their little strong thing that they do here stateside. Happy for you, pal. Fantastic, right? Keep it. It's like a clingy ex-girlfriend. Oh, well, Triple H made me all these promises when we were in NXT and none of them ever happened. Who cares? You can't trust people in the wrestling business to keep promises. What? Bro,
Triple H had a heart attack too.
Yeah.
Let's be.
I was
real fair
gonna
about this.
say the
Like,
exact thing. Does he truly believe that Triple H is laying in the hospital, going, "Oh, guys, remember I told Jonah he was gonna go to the top. Make sure he gets there." Yeah, that's what he's worried about, not fucking living.
And
This
then,
is
then you
ridiculous.
got this Joker coming out as soon as Vader's announced for the Hall of Fame. He's like, "Oh, I love it when people compare me to Vader. I love it.
of all the people,
my Vader.
first of all, of all the people that I've compared to Vader, he was
Shut up,
never
dude.
one of them. He was never one of them. Because he didn't. He was this guy. He was not like Vader. Was he? He's not even a super heavyweight. He's just kind of an out of shape boy.
Derek's dying.
He's dying.
But listen,
I'm sorry, guys. I keep trying to mute in time, though. I feel
You
like
did a good job.
I've gotten
No, it
hundreds
was
of.
good.
dude's junk, and I'm happy that he landed a job, right? But you want to know what really irritates me the most about this whole thing? And Derek, this one's for you, pal. You know, because I just top dollar. All right, AJ Francis. Okay, he thinks that like. He says, well, he was interviewed recently, asked him about life after WWE, and they asked him about AEW. He's like, oh, they just never called me. They didn't call you because you're not good at your job, pal. Okay? Like, you spewed all this shit after Hit Row got broken up and released that oh, they're going to regret this and they're going to regret that, and I'm going to do this, and you didn't do shit, pal, okay, because you're still sitting on the sidelines. All right? So maybe you're just not as good as you thought you were. And that's okay. All right. Like, I think I'm a top notch human being, but I'm a liar. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
guess what? I'm a liar.
I just went into Jim Carrey right there. It's like, I'm a liar. And liar. I'm sorry. It just
No, that's
how it hit me. It was
that's
funny.
an edge. That's an edge quote. I'm a liar.
Well, I went Jim Carrey. That's
Tom,
how
I
my brain works. I'm
appreciate you,
sorry.
pal.
It's a
I got
fucked
you.
up.
Look,
brain
Walt,
apart.
I consume too much.
I appreciate you, pal. But anyways, man, like, you know, I don't think that these guys are as good as they think they are, and that they're surprised that their life after WWE isn't as fruitful as they thought it was going to be.
Well,
No, wholly
they're
agree,
not as good as
especially-
they think they are.
Well, especially
Two.
with Top Dollar, I think he's particularly not very.
He didn't
good.
really do anything.
That's the yeah.
I mean,
Like-
he could talk.
Yeah.
He could kind of rap a little bit. I feel like that was his sort of his shtick. But you know, I don't see AEW as like AEW is just not as hip.
Yeah,
or
but they've already
with
got
it.
their little rapping guy, Max
got a
Caster
rap
and the
group.
Acclaimed.
Yeah, and he's
They don't need
way
that shit.
better. And he's way better.
Way,
than
way
Top
better.
Dollar. Way better.
Way better.
So much better. So much
And
better.
we don't have a lot of big bodies in AEW to put you up against, other than what, Keith Lee and what, steroid guy hasn't been around for a minute
Ryan Cage.
Brian Cage.
with the stupid
Who's-
stupid
Supposedly, there's
sideburns.
plans in place for him.
I'm just gonna call him sideburns from now on.
Ugh.
We can only hope. There's plans in place for Brian Cage.
So-
nobody's seen Brian Cage. The fact that they re-signed Brian Cage is stunning to me.
Yeah, it was definitely
That was totally a
They
power move
picked
to
up
keep
his
him away
option.
from WWE. That's what that
Absolutely.
was. They picked up the option. They could get it for cheap. You're ours. Sorry, kid.
he went.
You're sticking here. I mean, at least you get to sit on the couch and get paid.
Hey, I mean,
Look,
yeah.
you don't get to sit on the couch and continue to look like Brian Cage. All right?
That's
Just
fair.
saying.
Well,
You
that's
gotta-
true.
you gotta pick that couch up a little bit.
It's a fantastic couch. I need to find that couch.
you gotta squat that couch some.
yeah, that's true.
But
But
you
yeah,
know, they're like,
yeah.
I'm just not into it, man. And you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, it just it doesn't do it for me. And you know, and like, Swerve landed a spot because he's actually good in the ring.
Swerve
Okay.
is fantastic,
Yeah.
and honestly, like what I've seen of Swerve post his WWE release, where he's gotten to talk a little bit, I was like, oh shit, Swerve can talk too.
Yeah, and like
Mhm.
Like he's gonna be. They aligned him with Keith Lee this week.
Yeah, saw that.
He's
They
gonna
did.
be
Rampage. Yep.
that. That's gonna be a thing.
Going
Like,
against Team Taz, that's that's prime time spot. Him and Ricky
That's-
Starks are gonna go after
like it.
That's gonna
And
be.
Ricky Starks is a star.
Gosh,
gonna be-
he is, boys. He is. Ricky
I mean,
Stocks.
if you want to
Gonna
put
blow
these guys
up.
in, you want to put these guys like what they're doing right. God, what they're doing right now at AEW. I mean, I can't like. It's not non-criticizable, but it's like it's pretty fucking good. Like it's
Can we just talk about how top quality Team Taz is right now?
oh yeah, like they're firing like. They must have given Taz more creative control over all of that, as opposed to like
The word is input.
Okay, creative input. Good point. They must have given Taz more creative input to all of that because it's been very smart, but it's been very Taz smart. You know what I mean? Like it's like this is a thing Taz would do when Taz had more creative input as to what Taz was doing, and that's where it is.
I feel that.
Same thing with Hook,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's Hook is sort of separate from the rest of Team Taz.
Yeah, Hook is having his dad's like come up in ECW right now.
Right. So Hook is sort of a little bit separate, but at the same time, it's like Hook is over. Like Hook is super over.
Yeah.
And the rest of Team Taz is now getting over. They're getting up. Like they were AEW Dark. Like yeah, they would win on Dark, but like they're top. They're coming up to like top tier mid carders right now. Where like we're gonna be putting like, you know, these guys are gonna be rotating TNT champs, stuff like that. And you know now we got Keith Lee in that mix. Now that we got Swerve in that mix, I'm not so excited to see that big man match just yet in AEW.
No.
Because they don't have as many. So the Hobbs
They're
versus
gonna blow their wad on it, man.
I know they really are the Hobbs versus Keith
But
Lee
it's
thing.
been
They really are.
I was gonna bring this up last week, and I don't think we got around to it, right? But like when Will Hobbs gave Keith Lee that spine buster on Rampage, my soul left my body, right?
Well,
Like
yours wasn't the only one.
I was just
It's
like,
a loud
"Whoa!"
move if you were there.
You know, like
Could imagine those big men going down.
and then they played it perfectly, right? Like they made that spine buster mean something because Keith Lee just laid there.
I mean,
Like they
I don't know that he had a
made that
choice.
mean something.
I heard
And that
it. I don't
right
know
there.
that he had a choice to not just lay there. Like,
Yeah.
like I mean, yeah, he just laid there. Yes, send Hook.
Absolutely.
I love Hook. I think Hook is like to me Hook is like they could like surprise put a belt on Hook like they could surprise put the like TNT title on Hook like in a week or two and I'd be like,
Hey, how
yes,
long until
yes.
How long until Taz takes
great,
the
though.
W championship off of Ricky Starks and says, "I'm giving this to my boy"?
That might be great too. Break up the whole team.
Ah, man, I don't want to break up that group though. They've got so many good
No,
groups
not
going
at
right
all.
now. The Jericho Appreciation Society.
How
That's
fun is
starting
that?
to be a thing.
I
That's
like
so
that
fun. Exactly.
I like that they
It is
found
so
spots.
fun.
I like that Jericho now, like all those guys were guys they really didn't have spots for. But they're
Yeah.
all like good wrestlers.
Everrise rules.
Yeah, but like they're all
No
really good
longer.
wrestlers.
Now they are by their real names, which I can't remember.
Listen,
at
all
the
I know
exact
is when
moment,
they're in
but
the
no
when
longer
they're
even
in the
2.0.
ring, when they're in the ring in Pittsburgh, when we go in April, I'm doing it again.
Oh my god! you're
I'm
such a
doing it again.
douchebag.
Because I got a reaction the last time.
Why don't we just make a sign?
No.
That'd be even better.
But listen, it was so quiet in the arena. I picked the perfect time to do it. We
Did.
got the
Okay.
reaction we were after. Like,
Yeah. He definitely turned around and was like,
We gotta start looking at those tickies.
I already
looking
did.
at-
I already did. We'll talk off air.
Oh, super,
I did some homework for us,
man.
fellas.
nice.
So,
deal.
yeah, man.
Good deal.
But absolutely, Team Taz killing it. I'm into everything that they're doing, and it's, you know what they're really doing with Rampage, and I know that like we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. They're actually using that as their B show, right? with some A talent, which is fantastic. I think that like if WWE can figure out how to do that, figure out that formula and combine the roster the way that AEW is managing it right now, I think WWE is going to be such a better product long term with one
Oh, yeah.
roster under a unified championship. And I know that like I say that an awful lot, and I apologize that like I keep like droning on about it, but I think that we can all agree that that's where it's at, right?
Well, I think that and I think it'll be hit and miss. I think they'll find that spot and they'll find that groove and they'll lose it. And then they'll find it a little bit and then they'll lose it. And I think there's a balance, and I think that AEW is in the balance. They're in the groove right now because, and truth be told, how lucky are we right now that there are between 3.5 and 4 really good shows, really good wrestling shows every week, like as wrestling fans. So I would not have said this a year ago. I would say that NXT is always like half good, right? So it's the 0.5. So, Raw can be a 0.5 good wrestling show. Raw can be all good. SmackDown's good every week. For the most part, Dynamite's good every week. Rampage is a little hit or miss, but at the same time, it's generally like at least has one, and it's a short show, so usually half of it's good at least.
But listen,
So, I mean,
man, they're
even if
jamming
it's a
shit
waste
on
of
Rampage.
time, it's not-
There was like 5 matches.
There's
this
usually like
week on
4 or 5
Rampage.
matches.
really
Yeah.
were.
hmm
Yeah, I mean they really banged it in. They've been There's been more matches on Rampage lately than there have been on SmackDown.
It's been a fantastic show.
Like SmackDown gets like 4 matches.
and,
Like, a lot
and
of
I'll be
segments.
interested, Tom. This is usually you. I don't know if you looked at this week. I'll be interested to see what the rating was on Friday because it didn't come on until well after midnight because I was watching the basketball
I
game
didn't see that one.
went into overtime.
Everybody else's rating was still pretty much the same. So Dynamite was around 950K or so. It was still under 1 million, but not by much. Raw was about the same. I want to say they got like 1.2, 1.3,
Yeah.
1.4, something like that. SmackDown kind of always gets 2.2. And I don't know what Rampage got. I did not see
Interesting.
that one.
I mean, no,
I
it's
didn't see
good.
that
Like
one.
I know that that's usually something that you look at because it
I mean,
tends to always get brought up. So
I try to pay attention to it, but that I just didn't see
no,
it.
that's fair. I mean, I don't think that it's anything that's really being talked about either because it's just a happenstance of circumstance, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so
I don't remember
moving on.
it. I got that memory.
Moving on. So Louis in the chat says, has WWE given up on Drew McIntyre? Now, Tom,
No.
I know that this is your boy, right? But if you would allow, right? No, I don't believe that WWE has given up on Drew McIntyre. As a matter of fact, I think Drew McIntyre is in one of the most compelling stories going into WWE's WrestleMania. I think that the deal with Corbin and the Happy Folks is absolutely fantastic. It's doing a lot for all 3 of those guys, really. Riddick Moss especially.
It gets a good rating
Louis,
too every week. Like it
Louis,
keeps
if
the
you remember
eyeballs.
correctly, you were fairly high on several years ago, Riddick Moss. So, it's putting him kind of in a spotlight. So, Tom, I mean, that's your boy. What do you think?
No, I'm absolutely. I don't think that it's a demotion at all. I mean, it's on the WrestleMania card. It's heavily featured every week, like every week. I mean, and on the big show. Like, I mean, this is 2.2 million views. Like, this is the big show, and it's heavily featured every week. He gets time. He gets a microphone. Same thing with Riddick Moss. He gets time. He gets a microphone. Controversial statement by me, by the way. Baron Corbin is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer once he retires. For
No
sure.
argument from me.
Absolutely. It's not even going to be like it's not even questioned like he's going to be first ballot Hall of Famer because the guy is heavily shown every week. Has feuded with everybody. Heat magnet. By all accounts, one of the safest hands since Mr. Perfect in the ring, and just is great. Hey Baron Corbin, we need you to put on a TV match that looks good and don't hurt anybody. Okay, I got 10 minutes. All right, we got you.
Hey Corbin, I need you to play a homeless man who's lost all of his money. Done, no problem.
Done.
Hey Corbin, I need you to play a guy that went to Vegas and hit lots and lots of money, and do your thing and just hey done, and he's gotten it all over, all of it.
literally
everything.
all of it. It's never been. It's always been him. It's always like very much like the same guy, but it's a different character or a different guy, the same guy in a different situation, and it works. It's believable, and I can't.
His original character, though, I just hated so much, and I really feel like it was probably him that was like, "Please just let me shave my head. My hair looks so
was.
freaking stupid, guys."
He
Like,
was.
It did look
He
please.
did
bad.
say that. He did.
It
He said
had
that.
to have been him because
did.
I just couldn't. He could not get
It was
over in
like
my mind
it
because he
was like
looked so
real
ridiculous.
thin, like through here. It was real
Yeah,
wispy and
wait.
like
He did.
What are
He
you
actually.
doing? You're not fooling anyone. You should probably not wet it down. It'd be less noticeable.
No, he actually said that he had talked to Vince McMahon several times. Like, can I just shave my head? And Vince was like, "Nah, pal. We got you coming out in video games with hair. We got you coming out. We got your figures coming." It was like a video games figure because they even have to like ask. This is maybe lightened up. That portion particularly is maybe lightened up a little bit. For the tattoos and everything else since
yeah,
the
I think
pandemic.
Orton got in a lot of trouble because were doing like some action figures or some shit with just like those 3 tribal tattoos that he had, and then one day he just shows up with 2 full sleeves, and everybody's like,
2 full sleeves, and his back is also his like sleeves connect through his back.
everybody's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
What?
that's a lot
You
of
like him?
motion
I just
capture
got
work
him
down the
done
drain.
this weekend. You like him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brock too, because Brock's got that terrible thing on his
Yeah,
chest.
but he did that. He did that when he left.
Yeah, it's still terrible though.
Yeah, he did that
Well,
for
you know,
UFC.
hey,
that's
listen,
for
if you
sure.
ever read his autobiography, you would know that he got that tattooed there at the end of his WWE career because this actually symbolizes his first WWE run, holding a knife to his throat. That's a true story.
Well, it's not a good.
No, it's
It's
terrible.
not a good tattoo.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Hey, Louis said I've seen it brought up a couple of times. I feel like they're just building his baby face to eventually dethrone Reigns. Listen, I'm into it, pal. Get rid of the fucking sword.
I think they will get rid of the sword, or he'll hit Roman with the sword.
I will not support you until the sword goes, Drew. Not that you care about my personal opinion, but that is the truth. I can't deal with it anymore. It's stupid. Who brings a fucking sword and swings it around an arena? And they're
when
like,
it was
"It's
an
fine."
entrance prop, it was dope. When they started bringing it to the ring and it has a leather sheath for it attached to the ring post, I'm done.
All right,
Now you're trying to decapitate people with it. I'm done.
See, I want
Entrance
some real.
prop, dope.
I'm ready for real decapitations.
I mean, if we're not going there, then what are we even doing with this sword?
Right? If it's not sharp. I did like when he held it at Baron Corbin's like Corbin or somebody Riddick Moss tried to sneak in behind him while Corbin was talking, and he held it at him. I like that.
Yeah,
that was the where he was like
the best Angela moment in recent memory.
Tell me a joke.
Funny man.
Funny man. And then he F5s him, or then he Claymores him. He's like, idiot. I love that.
Hey, can I tell you a joke, though?
Tell me, funny man.
Can I tell you a joke?
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, no.
AEW's video games looking rather jokey, huh?
Oh, no.
So this was a story released by Fightful. It's a little bit of inside information on the game, that questions that folks like Derek may have asked. The game will have a story mode. Developer Ukes has brought back some of the SmackDown vs. Raw team to help with development. Sure looks like it. More info and a release date will be announced when a publisher is found. Kenny Omega is determined to make the game a success.
Oh, God.
Thunder Rosa has seen her in-game model.
Oh, God.
And AEW's music producer was informed of a soft deadline for music for the story mode before Revolution.
Speaking of soft.
Bro.
The guy just went soft.
Like, I didn't realize that, like, I owned a Nintendo 64.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about today?
That's PS2. Come on, let's not be that mean to it. That's clearly PS2 level graphics.
Bro,
there.
that blockiness.
That's
okay,
PS2.
that blockiness.
That's very
This
PS2.
is very Nintendo 64.
No, that's
Yeah.
That chokehold looks terrible. His arms going up
them's-
through him. The character
Ooh.
models look stupid because his
Oh,
arms
here he
are
goes. Here he goes.
Yeah, no, he's right.
I mean,
though. The
Did
the
you guys
collision
see
detection-
Fat Jericho too? Like Fat Jericho is real nice. If you can find a picture of that.
I love the Fat Jericho still ripped.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
fat
Yeah,
and
Fat
ripped.
Jericho still has abs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
think the problem here is Ukes hasn't made a wrestling game since they up and quit on 2K19, which would have put that, or I'm sorry, they did release 2K19. They haven't quit on 20. So that puts them 3 years ago. And you still look like you haven't done anything for 3 years. This is not 3 years worth of graphical upgrades.
No.
We're going back to 2013. This is not what we want. After we just had the release of WWE 2K22, which I will tell you now is a freaking masterpiece as far as wrestling games go. Not so much for the customizers and the ring generals and all that good stuff that they like to create their own titles, create their own storylines, but as far as gameplay goes, as far as graphics go, as far as clipping and stupid funky little glitches that we get along the way whenever we're doing these matches that we've all seen of ropes juddering and doing funky things, refs bouncing all over the ring, just weird. You don't see it. Everything graphically looks like it should be in 2022. Everything's got a nice glazed donut look to it, a nice sheen. That's obviously missing from the Ukes game that we're seeing. And I'm really feeling like we're just going to fall back into the normal Ukes territory, which is what I was having a problem with when Ukes was actually making the games. I'd literally said to myself before they quit, I really wish they would just take a year off or find a different developer. And because this is the same game and the graphics don't ever seem to really get updated. And it looks the same on my 360 as it does on my Xbox One, because this time they were dual releasing, and I'm still seeing it. I could play this game on my 360. Why?
Because it's PS2 era level graphics. So here's, I'm not so I've actually I'm not Derek. I don't play the games as they come out, but I do play these games. I didn't play 2K20 because I was warned ahead of time. But I play a lot of video games, man. I just finished Horizon Forbidden West. I'm working on Elden Ring now. God save my soul. No, seriously, it's fucking hard. I've played Souls games, and this is, I get it. I just don't. You have to kind of hate yourself for a little bit until you really love yourself because you're winning. I'm not winning yet. But there's a point with the wrestling games, particularly with Ukes, I felt like there was just a level of why this looks terrible, and they always looked really bad, and I'd always pick them up later because they never really. I don't know that they didn't sell well enough, that there just weren't enough used copies around or what, but they were always I could never pick them up for you can. I routinely would get games for free or for $20 or whatever. You kind of always got to shell out $25-$30 for a WWE game that's still online and playable, right? So you kind of always got to shell out almost half price at least, even if it's used. And every time I'd shell it out, I'd be like, "Is this what the wrestlers still look like?" This is kind of what they looked like. I played all of them on PS2, all the SmackDown games, all all that stuff. I played all those, and play the shit out of the N64 games, particularly both WCW games and WrestleMania 2000, and what's the other one? I want to call it Mayhem, but it's not Mayhem. Whatever the other one is. Revenge. No, that's the WCW.
Say what console are we on?
N64.
There's World Tour and Revenge for N64. Yeah,
World Tour and Revenge. And then what's the WrestleMania 2000?
Dope game though.
It was so for the time. Oh my god, World Tour and Revenge. Yeah, World Tour and Revenge, and then WrestleMania 2000, and then what's the one after that?
Raw.
No.
or Attitude, something like that.
No. Anyway.
It had a red. It was red sticker. It was Stone Cold.
Nope.
I
That's
Why don't you just open your box and look, pal?
yeah. No, that's
like in arm's reach.
that's the Acclaim one. That's Raw is War. That's Raw is War.
That is the Acclaim one. Yes,
that's the Acclaim one. No, it's
That's correct.
it's like Mayhem or something. Hold on.
You just look.
I
hate
mean,
you.
just look, pal. I mean,
I gotta turn on the lights
No
and
mercy.
everything. It would be
No
dramatic.
mercy.
No mercy.
WWF,
There we
no mercy. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. But yeah, so those, like, I play the crap out of those, and I can't believe I couldn't think of No Mercy. I can't believe you couldn't think of No Mercy. Good God.
hey man,
I'm disappointed. But anyway, so I play them all, and man, I couldn't agree more. Is that, like, the simulation games, if anything, have to be sort of cutting edge graphically, right? Because they're always like kind of glitchy. Like they sort of recycle things, they take things away. It's like, well, this isn't as good as the game that came out last year, and it still costs too much money. But you know, I kind of feel like looking at these screenshots. I don't know who released them, if it was Ukes, but they shouldn't have. They should have looked at that and gone, "Ooh, no, we shouldn't."
so
release
guys,
them."
let's not forget though that when news of this video game first came out, like, it was rumored to have that N64 feel to it.
I mean, that's fine, and I like those games a lot.
Those games are phenomenal.
But that's like 30 years ago, man. Not quite. 25. It's a long time
And
ago.
at that time, whenever it was announced, we hadn't had the masterpiece that is 2K22 at this point.
Wow, you're really high on this game.
But I'm so high on this game. I love this
I mean,
game.
I wouldn't know.
It's-
You've been telling me for 3 weeks you were going to start doing some content around
Well,
the
that's
game.
because
I'm just sitting back and waiting.
I've got other competition stuff going on that I actually wrapped up last
Oh.
night, so I can now focus on that. But yes, I'm extremely high on this game. And you know what? I want simulation wrestling. If you were to say, for instance, give me WWE Battlegrounds or WWE 2K22, what do you want to play?
Battlegrounds.
Never, ever do I want to
Yeah,
play
but I'm a
Battlegrounds.
button
No, sir.
masher, pal. Like,
Battlegrounds is poopy, though. So I played Battlegrounds. And
yeah, but
literally...
but guys, I'm not like a hardcore video game guy like you
But
guys
don't
are,
you
right?
want, like, your character to do the moves that the guys do? Like, even if you mash the button, don't you want, like, Smo Joe to, like...
Look at this.
Like,
Look at this.
put- Derek, 100%. Oh, there we go.
Take note
don't-
of that, fellas.
Like, don't you
That's a
want
rare
Smo-
day that we have here. It's a red
you
letter
want-
day for Derek.
Don't you want Samoa Joe to, like, do a Samoa Joe move? Like, Samoa drop, Uranagi, something like that. Like, if you're... Because I only say that because Samoa Joe's, like... I feel like Samoa Joe is, like, the guy you fight in that game, like, more than anybody else. Like, I feel like you fight Samoa Joe, like, 5 times, and then, like, Samoa Joe, like,
Hey,
also... is
between
your
him and
coach.
Bray Wyatt, I wanted to kill Bray Wyatt. He's not Bray Wyatt in that game, but you know what I mean. Like, the Fiend.
Right.
One of his
yes.
matches, it was like,
But still, what I'm trying to say...
yeah, not fun.
is that like, you know, don't you want them to do the moves? Like, you want the Undertaker to do a choke slam and a tombstone, and you want when he climbs up, you want him to do old school and walk on the ropes, and you know, you want all that stuff. You want Roman Reigns to be able to do a drive-by on the outside, but you can't do any of that. You know, you can't hit. Everybody's moveset's pretty much the same. It's all like recycled. Like, you know, if you fight as Baron Corbin, like, sure, okay, maybe that's Baron Corbin's moveset. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah, you might have his finisher and signature, but instead what you're looking at is brawler, grappler, power. You know, like, you'll have 4 to 5 move sets that then blanket the entire roster. But then the only
Was
thing
it
that's
4 to
actually
5?
changing
Was
is
even
their
that
finisher
many?
signatures. You know,
was it even that
you'll
many?
you'll
I
have
feel
like
it was
a
more than that many.
lucha move set. You'll have a power move set for, you know, like a Big Show type of character. It's those arcade things, man. It's not, and if that's really what they're gonna come out with, I feel like they're saying that so they can hide the graphical, disparities that they have going on here, and now they're trying to sell it to us as, oh yeah, we meant to do it like that.
Well, they
Oh,
didn't
so
even
they're
do
kayfabe
they,
us
to
then,
make
pal.
they didn't even
Did you
do it
really
like
mean to
that
make
on.
that, Jericho?
They didn't really even do it that way on N64. Like, you could assign, when you created a character, you could assign moves to every specific, because it was like up, grapple and up was one thing, grapple and left was one, grapple and that was one, grapple and down was one. And yeah, you could only assign 4 moves, but there were like 700 moves to assign. And it was like, oh, okay, well, up is going to be this. Like, you don't have to assign people more than 4 moves each, but you have to have enough moves that, like, the same 8 people don't have the same move set. Like, this isn't 1992 Mortal Kombat, where the only difference between Sub-Zero and Scorpion is that Sub-Zero throws an ice ball and Scorpion throws a spear. Like, it wasn't even that, like, intricate. It was like, it was it was so samey. It was just, everybody's punch animations were the same. It just, this is not where games are in 2022, or what was that, 2020 when that came out. And it was like, yeah, okay, I could feed John Cena to a lion or whatever, or a crocodile outside of the ring, but like, that's stupid. It's not like that doesn't make up for the fact that, like, I can't have a different move set for the Undertaker than I do for Roman Reigns.
Nah, and I think that's fair. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, right? And like we talked about this whenever, the quarter 4 financials came out, the end of year financials came out, and AEW went into the red over this video game, and they really need this game to be successful. Like, I don't think that this is what any of us were expecting that it was gonna eventually come out to
No.
be. And if you're betting the house on this, I mean, whether you're trying to market it as this retro N64 experience or what, like, this is not the play. This is definitely not the play.
Well, and I think that too, that like it's worrying for me too, because I don't know that it'll make. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if it could flop hard. Like, it's hard to put out a good video game, and WWE fails, and they have a lot more money behind them than AEW do. Now, AEW's got a lot of money, but WWE makes a lot of money, right?
Right.
So if a WWE game fails, they've had 20 successful games before that. Meh. If your first AEW game fails, I mean, that kind of put TNA under.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's the...
that game was a shit show.
What if this game is that level of shit show? It could be. They
Well,
look the same.
I'm trying to get across this screenshot of Jericho to you guys so you can show it to the audience here, and I think that'll kind of explain everything that we need to know.
Well, I just want to point out that graphically, those two games don't look all that different.
I mean, I can't disagree with you, pal. And like, I'm a casual video game guy, but like, if we went all in on a project like this to essentially keep our company afloat, maybe things are different now because live events are a thing again, right? Like, being in person is a thing, and maybe that's the case, and life is good. But you went all in, no pun intended, on this game. And this is the effort that you're going to put forth.
Does that come out this year? Is that this year thing?
23, 24 from what I've heard at this point is the estimate.
See, initially it was promised summer of 2022.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if it gets pushed out another 2 years, that's like, because here's the thing, you keep kicking the can down the road. It's like, well, now we got to overhaul the graphics. Well, now we need to hit 60 frames per second now, because like you're going to be chasing the dragon between now and like I don't know. I don't have a lot of hope for this game. I won't be pre-ordering, but I feel like now they're hitting somewhere. They're hitting somewhere right now around a like Derek said, maybe an Xbox 360 level, early Xbox. So they're around 2005 right now. If this doesn't come out until 2025, they got some ground to make up. I hope they do. Look, I want them to come out with a good wrestling game. I really do. Do I think they're gonna? Yikes, Scoob.
It's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be it. Yeah.
Yeah, like what? I don't have a lot of faith.
So, TBD. Hey, again, appreciate you all being here, spending your night with us. While you're here, please hit the like button. Go ahead, throw us a comment, man. We're very interactive with what goes on in the chat. So, please join us.
Please.
However, something that I don't know, Derek probably already joined.
What the fuck is that?
Tony Storm literally broke the internet this week. That's obviously very overblown, but Tony Storm started up her OnlyFans after teasing this several weeks ago, and then everybody was like, "Oh, ha ha ha!" And then there was a lot of comments on her Instagram that was like, "Oh yeah, I'd fucking pay for that." Yeah, oh yeah, I'd.
Well, they did.
Here's a
Yeah,
blank
I
check.
was not just squinting to see the prices or anything. I was just leaning forward.
So I'm going to take us out of here real quick, right? So here's Tony Storm's price list. A 1 month subscription is going to cost you $19.99 a month. Now,
Yeah, that's all
if
I'm
you
gonna
do-
need.
If you do
I like how dead your phone was when you took the screenshot.
oh
by the
yeah,
way.
yeah, real dead. So 3 months for $53.97. That's going to go ahead and save you 10%. So
Ooh.
what about $7?
What a
you know?
deal. Yeah, what a deal.
6 months, 15% off, $102. Hey man, big ups to Tony Storm. So like when I took this screenshot, as you can see, it was 7:05 right before we came in to do the little showski here. This had been live for about 36 hours,
More or less,
48 hours.
No, not quite. Yeah,
Not very long.
Yeah.
And she's already got 6,000 likes, 5.9 thousand likes.
Apparently between Monday or between whatever Saturday night and now, she's made something like to the tune of like 50 grand.
Well, I mean, we can just do the math here real quick, pal.
Well, so
I
the
mean,
likes
if you-
you can like each video that she has theoretically.
Oh, really? I see. I thought
Yeah.
that the like was a subscription.
No, apparently not. Like if you subscribe, you can see the subscribers, but you're not subscribed, as we can see by the blue. I'm not subscribed. I can't look it up for you either. I'm sorry. I know.
Tom,
I know
why do you
it's
know so much
disappointing.
about OnlyFans?
Because I asked somebody who subscribes a lot of things. And that's how I know. I have people. Look, man. I have friends who are degenerates. All right, not just you guys, but like other friends, other degenerate friends. So yeah, apparently you can like each individual post, but like she doesn't have that many posts. So
Well,
yeah.
as of this screenshot, she has 5.
Okay.
Wait, 5 for $20? Get the fuck
I
out
mean,
of here!
But
It's
you
been on like a
it's
couple minutes
been
ago.
up for, like, 2 days.
How
Okay,
many,
well, here's
how
what you
much
do:
content-
you patiently wait for 6 months. You toss her a 20, and you download whatever you want, and then you're good because you've got 6 months worth of content rather than 36 hours. And if that ain't enough for the old spank bank, then I don't know what to tell you, motherfucker.
So listen, I've got to ask the question. Okay, now clearly there's 2 women in professional wrestling that I think that we all 3 of us agree are very well put together. Well, that we've who's the third?
Jordan Grace.
Yeah, she's in OnlyFans too.
Yeah, that's
But-
what I mean. That's
Yeah.
I'm counting.
But of the 3 that we know and are aware of,
Wait,
her,
no, what about
Scarlett is the other one.
Payton? What about Payton?
What about
Peyton-
Gigi?
oh, yeah, listen, it's getting there. It's
Gigi-
listen, I
Gigi's
saw.
not on OnlyFans. She works for WWE. It's
Yeah,
just
she
a
works
Well,
for
she should
WWE.
be. Damn
Man,
it.
she is. Whew. Whew.
I like how nobody mentioned Mandy.
I mean,
No,
that's a given. I mean,
that'd be a tough choice. We should stop before our
Yeah,
daughters see this in the future.
Yeah.
anyways, listen. So I bring all that up, right? Because like, listen, if you got $20 to spend on some extra in your wrestling fandom, my
Chill.
question is: are you spending $20 to go to ad-free shows, or are you spending $20 to go to Tony Storm's OnlyFans?
Oh, me first.
Well, I mean, it depends on what's on those OnlyFans. Depends on what's in there.
I got the answer.
What, Derek?
So, you spend $0 on ad-free shows, and then you Google image Tony Storm OnlyFans.
Doesn't work that way, pal.
Doesn't
then
work
you-
that way.
Zero. Why? Why does that not work? It's the internet.
Because if you
Doesn't.
screenshot things in OnlyFans, you get booted.
What?
Not only that, she comes after you.
For real?
Yeah, that's copyright
Yeah.
infringement, pal.
Yeah, they come after
Wow.
I mean, if you
Well, you know,
share-
we already all saw her cooter anyway, so fuck her.
Whoa.
We did.
Whoa. When? No, I don't recall this.
There's totally
Nobody
a
showed
video.
me.
You guys Google it.
It sounds like a challenge.
That's like a challenge.
There's a Tony Storm cooter video out there.
Oh my god, he said it again.
He said
He
it
fucking
again.
said it again.
Is that what they call it down there in the holler? Is that what they call it down there?
Oh man, you guys. This is why I show up here every week. You
If I,
guys are my
was to use,
favorites.
if I was to use that word with my wife,
Listen, all I'm saying is, I've come on here and I've said this on several occasions
you know how
publicly.
not often I would
If
be.
I was a beautiful woman, I would absolutely put pictures of my butthole online for $20.
Well, I would probably buy yours if you were a beautiful woman.
I'm just saying.
However,
I see no
Same.
shame in this game.
no, there's
Totally
no shame.
same. I would gape
No.
that butthole for $5.99 a month. I don't give a
There's
fuck.
no shame.
And is it-
However, both of
However-
both of your wives are like, oh God, put your feet away.
Yeah. Oh, my wife can't stand my, like, I sit in the chair barefoot. She's like, ugh. I'm like, would you like me to put some fucking some slippers on? Please. Man feet. Ugh.
Your wife is a saint, by the way.
My wife is absolutely a saint. So listen, so I went to the
She
eye
truly
doctors
is.
today. I went to the eye doctors today, right? So I walk in and they're like, "Do you have an appointment?" Because they still have a mask thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. They're like, "You need to put a mask on." I was like, I really don't want to do that. But okay, because I need to get my eyes examined. So I'm like tying this apparatus to my face.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was a Thai one, Derek. It was really strange.
God.
And
They gave
the
you
little,
a Thai one?
yeah,
Good. Good for
yeah,
you.
the little receptionist goes,
They don't
you
have
have-
those just like ones?
nope, it was a Thai one. It was really strange. I was
The
really
hell
off.
they got
put
It's
that?
by
because
it,
Walt
if I'm
has a
being
huge
honest.
head, so they had to get into the extra stuff.
I mean, that shit's got
and
stretchy.
you know, like,
Listen, if I'm being
get
honest,
the big one for the guy.
If I'm being honest, I was a little off put by it. Okay, because I looked at it for a second, like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized what it was. Right. So, anyways, so the receptionist goes, "Walt, do you have high blood pressure or diabetes?" I said, "Is that a fat joke?"
Did you
And the
did
whole office busted out laughing.
did you honestly harass these women?
Oh yeah. I said, "Don't you feel bad for my wife?" And the one sweet little receptionist girl goes, "Your wife must be a saint." I said, "You have no fucking idea."
See, well, this is why she can't take you anywhere. However, you're welcome to come places with me because I'll just
Absolutely.
laugh. Because I'm also terrible, and I'll just laugh. It's fine to be terrible around terrible people. Your wife, however,
true.
is not your wife is not terrible people.
Lovely human being.
Lovely human being. And
Gosh, knowing your wife back before you guys were a thing, like never in my mind would that have been. Good
she's,
God.
So
like,
listen.
I don't.
So I my
she
getup
really
that I
is
had
a
on.
saint.
Yeah,
really
she
is.
really is. She really is. So my getup that I had on earlier, right? It's for my thing here in April that we discussed, right? Um, I'm going all in. So the jacket came today in the mail, and I was super excited. And I had it on, and I had my hat on, and I was standing in the doorway doing this when she pulled up.
Man, I'm so sorry I missed that.
When she pulled up, and I could just see her just visibly, like, just bust out into hysterical laughter.
Hey, that's what I did.
And it made my day.
That's
This
wonderful.
is great.
That's wonderful.
You know, it's gonna make my week.
Okay.
It's that time. It's that time. It's time for the One Fall WrestleCast match of the week.
Real quick, I want to throw it out there. You know what I think we should do at one point is get a hold of X-Men and have him make us our own match of the week custom One Fall WrestleCast belt. Like is in the picture there.
Really? We could do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can do that. You can totally do that.
Can we? Are you sure?
Probably wouldn't want to go through X-Men, though. It'd probably be kind of expensive. Because it'd be
Yeah, I
heavy and
got-
legit.
I ain't
He's
got
pretty
that kind of
fucking
money.
He's pretty fucking good.
I ain't got that kind of money by it.
He's real good. I like
Look at
his
that kind of-
stuff.
Yeah. That's shh. He's
All right,
got
so
good
I-
stuff.
So good shit, buddy. So I got a match of the week. So God, again, I'm like, I love how I shit on trios matches for a long time, and then like all of a sudden I'm just like, this trios match was my match of the week.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so AEW. It kicked off the show on Dynamite. The trios match. It was AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, versus Adam Cole and
Baby.
Red Dragon, aka the Undisputed Era.
Derek, I don't know why you're so surprised by Tom's match choice.
Truth be told, this match was. I mean, they just put the baby faces versus the heels, and they put them in with the Undisputed Era, and that's how I will be referring to them, as the Undisputed Era from now on. So basically, I mean, just back and forth. God, Red Dragon's so good. Red Dragon is so good. How good are these guys? Like Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, they're like, I really just want to see them versus FTR some more. I know I've seen that match before, but like, let's do it again, and let's give it 35 minutes, because I think the last time I saw it was like 15. Let's give it, Tony Khan likes to give things TV time limits. Let's do that. So, yeah, great match, top to bottom. Adam Cole gets the win. Bebe. But on top of the whole match just made sense. Even when Adam Cole got the win, like, people were trying to come in, Luchasaurus and Adam Page trying to come in to break the pin. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly jump on him to get the pin. Like, it made, for a company that spent 2 years not making any sense, this match made the most sense, top to bottom, minute to minute. Everything was sold. Everything was kicked out of appropriately. Everything made sense, and the fact that they did it in a trios match and made it all make sense just makes it even more impressive. Like, I can't stress enough how impressive. Like, trios matches are hard. Like, there's 6 people in the ring, 6 people trying to get stuff in.
And it's usually a clusterfuck of nonsense.
It absolutely
Exactly.
usually is. This was not like, not only was this not a clusterfuck of nonsense, but this was like, there were primetime players and there were guys who were sidekicks in this, and everybody played their role, didn't try to step on anybody else, didn't try to get themselves over. Everybody tried to get the match over by playing their role. And by doing that, that makes this the match of the week, because everybody played their role, everybody got the match over, and this was a fantastic match. This was probably the best trios match that AEW has ever put on ever, period. And it just worked out in so many ways. That it has to be my match of the week, because they really just, like, they took something that I'm like, God, these matches are stupid, and they are most of the time. Like we just said, they're usually clusterfucks. Fantastic. It kicked off the show, and it was one of those things like I watched and I was like, can't wait to watch the rest of this show. Rest of the show, not as great as this match, but you know what? Worthwhile television, and this match really just put it on. They just went out there and they were like, let's just go tear the house down, boys, and they had the ability to, and they did it.
No argument here. Derek, what you got, bub?
Well, great match, as you said. Great lead-off match. I'm not sure what you were watching as far as the rest of the matches weren't as good. We saw our first Hardy's match. That was great.
It was fine.
It's private party.
It was. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't the same caliber. They're not the same caliber of performers anymore. That's all. It's not that I'm not complaining. I'm not saying it was bad. It's not the same caliber. We're talking apples and oranges here. Apples are
good though.
better.
It was really good. You know what was really good, and I just gotta get this out there real quick, and then I'll get on to my match of the week, because last week I know I touched on them. The tag team that I did not know I needed in my life of Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley is the gift that keeps on giving. Like, I love this. I love watching it. I look forward to it every week that they have a match.
I hear you.
It's wonderful. What?
I hear you, but they're really just fighting jobbers. Like, I'm not. It's
That's
fine. Right? Yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's bad television. I'm just saying it was.
Yeah.
I don't see
Anyway.
Wheeler Yuta as a star.
So yeah, I don't. All right, I don't want to keep that discussion going because I'm going to say mean things, and then maybe
About
Tom
Wheeler
might
Yuta?
not be my friend anymore.
Or about Wheeler Yuta or about me?
No, never about you.
Okay,
But I mean,
so about-
Danhausen's a part of this team of jobbers, as you so
Very
called it.
nice, but Evie.
He is. I don't know why Danhausen's in there. Like, Danhausen is like, he's like a gimmick. He's more of a gimmick than he is a wrestler.
Yeah, I'm kind of very confused. Maybe we can have him as a guest on the show one week.
Oh, very confused, very evil. I don't think we can afford
Maybe
it.
he can explain
send him
things to us.
sacks of. We need to send him sacks of money
I mean, we'll see.
and teeth.
We'll find out.
Whose
You
teeth
find
are
out how
gonna
many
send
sacks
him?
of money it'll take.
Look, you live
I'll
in West
volunteer as
Virginia.
tribute.
For the sacks of money or the teeth.
The teeth.
Fair enough.
Walt's got to get his taken out and replaced anyway. They're going to take him out, polish him, and then put him right back in.
No, they want to do a whole lot of fucking shit though.
Can you put him in a jar?
They want to do a whole lot of shit that I'm just like, yeah, that sounds great, but no.
Can they put him in a jar?
No.
Because I feel like we could, and then Danhausen can pour him in somebody's mouth.
So I
So gross.
get back on you, Derek.
All right.
Listen,
So,
I
Thunder
agree with
Rosa.
Tom. I
Thunder
agree with
Rosa,
Tom,
Britt
pal.
Baker.
Listen, hey,
Number 2.
I'm trying. Hey, motherfucker.
Oh, are you talking?
I'm talking.
Go ahead. My apologies.
Shush.
Oh, I love it.
Shush.
I agree with Tom, man. The Hardys thing was cool, but like, okay.
Yeah.
That Swanton bomb looked like dog shit, and actually, it looked like Isaiah Cassidy got hurt.
Mhm.
If I'm being honest.
He's been laying them shits in pretty stiff for the last 5 or 6 years. But anyway,
It's because
Derek.
you don't feel it.
Please proceed with your match of the week.
All right, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, number 2.
2?
The second time Thunder Rosa beats Britt Baker.
She's got her number, pal.
Oh man, but
It was number, but this was match 3.
No, it was technically 2. One was
What?
unsanctioned, sir.
yes,
Okay, all right, okay, you're right. The first one was unsanctioned. Okay, all
but
right.
Britt Baker has never beat her and still doesn't. So Thunder
Britt
Rosa
beat
is our
her.
new
Britt
AEW
just
Women's
beat her.
Champion
Britt
with a
just beat her on the-
sweet freaking belt. Let me point that out.
Hold
That
on,
belt
stop.
is
Hold
awesome.
on. Yes,
What?
you're right.
What?
It is sweet. Britt just beat her on the pay-per-view. Just beat her. It just happened. Britt beat. There was that match happened on the pay-per-view. Britt Baker won.
Clean? I
No,
don't think it's clean.
it wasn't very clean, but she still beat her.
Okay,
Pinned
I'll give
her
you that on
1, 2,
technicality.
3.
All right.
Which is why we had the steel cage match stipulation in the first place.
Yes. All right.
Although,
I'll give it
I will be honest
I
with you, when I
apologize.
saw that the cage was gapped, I thought for sure that Rebel and Jamie Hayter were under the ring.
No,
Thought for sure.
nothing.
Thought for sure.
I'm going to point out though during this match though, I just want to point out because I'm glad you brought it up. This was how many uses of thumbtacks in however many.
What is your hatred
so
with
many-
thumbtacks, Tom?
And it's not a
Just
hatred.
embrace
Dude,
the thumbtacks.
They used it's like 3 times in like 4 weeks. It's like it's so much. It's
It made
too
sense
much.
here, though.
It did. It made
I
sense.
love the thumbtacks.
I'm not saying it didn't make sense. I'm just saying that, like, if it makes sense, like, why has it already been used twice in the last month? Like, they really need to, like, reserve the thumbtacks. Or just any blood and guts and stuff. Like, they need to reserve them because it's like, by the time it gets to, like, oh, well, it makes sense in this match particularly. Like, it's already been used twice. And I feel like they've dry run it a couple of times in like bullshit matches, right?
I don't feel like that though, because this isn't GCW where it's like every match is like that.
No, but
Or like some violent underground VOW stuff.
No, like this is like I said, this is like the 3rd time in like a month. So that's my only.
It's a good ratio.
It's not a good ratio. It's too much. They need to pull it back a little bit, just a little bit, like. They need to recognize, like, okay, we want to use the thumbtack gimmick in this title change. So we should not use the thumbtack gimmick in this bullshit match. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good callback though to their thing. Like, thumbtacks be damned.
It had to
right?
happen.
Like,
Yeah, that was a great callback.
I agree with Tom that AEW may have been overusing the thumbtacks. Okay, like, he's not wrong. 3 or 4 times in like the last 5 or 6 weeks is a bit much, pal, between their 2 programs. Okay, but it absolutely made sense here because it was a callback. And now there's a bunch of criticism out that the women used fake thumbtacks, and Aubrey Edwards gets on social media. She shows her arms and her gear and feet, and it's like, there's nothing fake about these thumbtacks. Like,
No, we went to Hobby Lobby and got the real ones.
but
Although Britt did not sell a powerbomb onto the thumbtacks.
no, it was not a good sell.
She just rolled out of the ring, and it was like, I'm sure that hurt, and I'm sure it was hurting, but at the same time, it was. I mean, I don't know that she needed to lay on the thumbtacks. Like, maybe you roll out of the ring and you just lay on the floor with the thumbtacks or not. I don't know. I'm just saying that it's just.
She didn't sell it very well, though. I will give you that. But like,
She
I
didn't sell it at
I sent you the picture.
Yeah, no, I
of-
saw
of
Aubrey.
Aubrey's arm.
Aubrey also did not sell the thumbtacks.
No, she did. The first referee did.
Yeah.
He was like counting in the tacks, and the second one I saw him go like this after the kick out. So like, he sold that, but like, Aubrey did not sell the thumbtacks.
It was Rick Knox, right?
Yeah,
The first
it was
one.
Rick Knox. So real quick in the chat, Jackie Melinda said, "Is Tony featuring the Briscoes on TBS?" Jackie, no, Tony is not featuring the Briscoes on TBS. However, we are going to get FTR versus the Briscoes at the Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor show that Tony Khan is going to be on a Friday. I believe that's April 1st. So that is up against SmackDown and the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony of The Undertaker, which is also against Rampage. So very crowded Friday evening. And to lead with something like FTR versus the Briscoes is absolutely quite the attention grabber, if I do say so myself.
From what I understand, apparently the Briscoes, one of the 2 brothers, made some sort of sexual harassment or some sort of
It was
degrading comment
homophobic
about
slurs
women.
like 12 years ago.
Yeah, and TBS executive, I'm not sure, but that's what I was read as a TBS executive basically just puts the kibosh on all that. They will never be here type of thing. Obviously, money talks, and so don't ratings and advertisers. So depending on how the Supercard goes.
I think that's exactly why TK put them in this spot.
Yep, I agree. So it's very well a possibility in the future.
Not to, and I'll get to my match of the week, but I'm glad these are 2 great questions. Tom, like, what's your opinion on people being like held accountable for some dumb shit like 12, 15 years ago?
So it depends. What's my opinion? How do they feel currently? people evolve. I'm not perfect. How do people
No,
feel?
me neither.
If it was 15 years ago, I'm not the same person I was 15 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. How do they feel now? I feel like there's a rehabilitation level there where it's
I
like,
would agree with that. And like some people will say that's a cop out.
It's
How do
not,
you ever
though.
rise out of the ashes though if you don't
Yeah,
give somebody a
it's-
chance?
So I mean, I feel like there's that. I feel like you need to be given the opportunity, and I feel like within wrestling it's particularly difficult because it's like you have to play a character, so you can't just like grovel at your feet for forgiveness necessarily when you're trying to play a badass, right? That being said, how do I feel about someone? Man, that's a hard thing to say, especially when you're on TV. Maybe you just say, no comment. Is it are you done? I mean, are you not the smartest person to make a comment? Yeah, you're not. I think he's saying no comment. It's not something I think about. I feel like that's a thing that like you have to say. It's not really related to me. It's not something I think about, and then it never comes back up again. It's not really something I think about. That's the thing you're supposed to say. You should say,
Right.
especially if you're in like a wrestling. I don't really think about it. Because then what the hell are they going to say? Oh, they dragged it up later. Look, he said he doesn't think about gay people. Like, okay. Doesn't have an opinion. NA, not applicable.
I think it's just an unfortunate circumstance
It is.
of times changing, right? Like, I mean, I know. Excuse me. I know that like 10 years ago, I wasn't the most PC stand-up person. You know what I mean? I'm still not. But like, you evolve and things change, and like, what is socially accepted is not the same today as it was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, right? And like, to make comments like that, I think was more socially accepted back then because of the ignorance of our society to the feelings of folks, right? And as we've evolved a little bit as a human race, I think that needs to be taken into account as well. And no, it's not cool, like my man, like putting stuff out there, like gay bashing people, but like, I mean, how many times like have you in your lifetime been like, oh, that's gay? You know what I mean? Like, we didn't know any better, man. We never thought about it. Like, it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think to be kind of held to that kind of standard all these years later and not evaluate the person on a human level just based on some shit that was said in a situation that you have no context on 10 years ago, I think it's a little unfair.
I agree. It's unfair. I think there's a level of, you need to be given the opportunity for redemption, whether he wants it or not. I don't know that he wants it or not. And that might.
I mean, he released a public apology.
Okay, then it's over. Then it's fine. Then it's done. Look, he didn't.
Some people don't let it go.
And at the same time, like, them boys are like they're not like, these aren't guys that like grew up in New York City in super like progressive areas. These are guys that learned how people are by meeting people. Like
1999.
Yeah,
if that's correct, Jackie. That's insane. Like, yeah, you can't have 2021, 2022 expectations.
Yeah, for
standards
what people said in 1999.
for 1999. What was that on MySpace? Was that even a thing?
I'm so glad I was 14 in 1999.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was 14.
What was I? 13. Yeah.
Yeah, I was 14. I couldn't.
13.
I couldn't say shit.
Big 1-3. I was a badass teenager that year.
Couldn't say shit
Just
on the
slinging
internet.
all kinds of horrible insults everywhere. Yeah, but none on the internet because we didn't have things like
that
weird
wouldn't have
dialogue.
aged well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that it's unfair to hold somebody in today's society to a standard of 15 years ago. I just think that's unfair.
1999.
I just
God.
think that's unfair.
We're talking pre 9/11. I feel like you can wipe the slate clean. Anything that happened before 2001 is just like.
Jackie said, "Why
after
are the
9/11
TV?"
we just wipe everybody's slate clean and we restart? Is that how that worked?
Hey, Jackie said, "Why are the TV executives so sensitive?" Because there's a lot of money involved, pal.
Money, money,
That's what that
money.
comes down to.
Advertising
So,
dollars.
all right, so let's round it out. My match of the week. This is kind of funny. Um, was on Friday night on AEW Rampage, and it was a trios match between the House of Black, Bear Country, and Fuego del Sol.
I like
Not
that, too.
because it was the greatest match ever, but
How bad did Jericho bury Fuego del Sol? I kind of thought about this watching the match. Like, man, if somebody would have said this about Chris Jericho when he was in Fuego del Sol's situation, like that person would fucking hate Chris Jericho right now.
yeah, but Fuego del Sol's also got people like Sammy Guevara in his corner, and
Sammy Guevara.
Hey, Jackie said in the chat, I thought Stone Cold came out and it was Kevin Owens in a bald cap. I can't wait to watch Raw. That's going to be great.
Oh shit.
Oof.
But listen, not because it was the greatest match in the world, right? Like, I'm digging the fact that like they're telling these great stories in these trios matches, and I think that this has not been something that has historically been easy to do. And a lot of times when you get a 6-man tag on WWE television, it's very forced and put together just to put talent out there, right? But
And it's the first match of the night because like 6 dudes got like mad at other dudes, and they were like, "Fine, baby faces go over there, heels go over there."
yeah, it's a
We're
giant
having a
promo
6-man
segment
Yeah.
turned into a fucking 6-man.
That's
right?
exactly what it is.
And that's where like AEW is being very thoughtful in the fact that this is something they're looking at, because I mean they're keeping trios records. Like, they've been talking about trios championships forever. We thought when they introduced the TBS championship for the women's division that it was going to be trios championships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so they're very thoughtful in their approach on these trios matches. And the fact that, you get the House of Black out there with a mishmash, which, I mean, kind of makes sense because, Fuego del Sol is always just makes sense. He's always where he's not supposed to be, right? And then Bear Country, they're 2 big boys. And, obviously Brody King is a monster.
Yes.
So I didn't realize how big Brody King was until they put him out there with Bear Country, and I was like, "Oh, wow.
Bro, did you see his tope suicida?
Yes."
Wow.
That was
Bro,
like when
Bro,
he
that's
dove
like
through the
me
ring.
doing that.
When he dove through the ring, I was like, "Oh my god, everybody's gonna die." There was a moment in my head where I was like, "Oh god, here comes death. Death is coming," and it was wow. Anyway,
But
Yeah.
I did. I thought
good
it was
match.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good, and I
It was
enjoyed
fine.
watching it. And just the fact that the trios thing, they're doing a pretty good job with it. So let's hope they continue that. And
Yeah, for
I know
sure.
we talked about it with all the factions and shit like previously. Hey, this might be a thing, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
At
moving
least
forward.
it makes sense. Like they've been able to like we obviously gave 2 examples where at least it made sense. And it was like the one I gave, like that wasn't even a faction. It just made sense because it was like, oh, I got beef, we got beef. Well, I don't dislike you. Let's do it. But like the trio that was like in sync because they're undisputed, like obviously came out on top. Besides the guys who were just kind of tossed together because like you got beef, I got beef. Let's do it, and that like it didn't work.
I mean,
out.
and eventually all 3 of those guys are going to be holding those titles that were in that match. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna see. I mean, those are like, I picked the easy one, right? Those are the top stars. Those are the top guys. We talk about top guys. Those are top guys.
Yeah,
all 3 of them. So yeah.
But hey, listen, I'm not going to disagree with Derek either. Derek, are you fucking sleeping?
No.
Are you fucking sleeping?
I have small eyes, so if I'm looking down at my dog here, because Timmy's right here beside me.
Well, we must have entertained Timmy because he didn't shit all over us this week. So
No,
Good job,
he didn't do
Timmy.
anything this week. He's been good. Yeah.
Good boy, Timmy. Good boy.
Yeah.
How old's Timmy?
So,
Like
hey.
30?
Wait, what?
Tom asked you a question, moron.
What'd you say about Timmy?
I said, how old's Timmy? Like 30?
Timmy is. Let me think here.
Oh God.
Izzy is
Oh God.
6 or 7.
Here comes holler math.
Oh God.
I'm guessing, and this is a total guess, but I'm guessing Timmy is around 8. Maybe 9.
Okay. Okay. I thought Timmy would be like 18.
Why would you think that about Timmy?
I don't
He's a
know because
grumpy
he
old
like
man who shits all over people.
He's
And
lived
he-
a really rough life.
he farts audibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I have to pick him up everywhere he goes too. Like it's tough.
yeah, yeah. So my parents just lost like their terrier who was like 15, and nobody had to carry her around. She didn't fart audibly.
I've got a lot of years of carrying my dog Timmy around.
Like she just
Fortunately for me, I cannot lift. Well, I mean, I could lift Jax, but he won't let me because he's over 80 pounds now. So.
like she was just like she was fine, and she just like her kidneys just failed, and like they had to put it because that's how it happens with terrier. But she was like 15, and it was just like, oh no, kidney infection for the 15-year-old dog, and like they took her to the hospital, and they were like, we got to put her down.
He's like 8 or 9. He has terrible teeth. They're nasty. His breath stinks all the time.
Good God,
He also eats poop, so that's gonna
that helps.
limit his lifespan.
All right,
significantly.
y'all. So, hey, thank you guys so much.
We
for
lost
joining
all the
us.
viewers. Way to go, Tom. It's your fault.
I appreciate everybody coming around. Everybody that's here, please hit that like button. Listen, the more interactive you make this, the better off it is for everybody involved. We really, really do appreciate it. Hey, check us out over on social media, both Instagram and Twitter at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. Check us out over on the audio side. You can listen to us in your car if you like what we're doing. You know what I mean? Hey, we're just doing the thing. We're just enjoying ourselves, enjoying the company of good friends. Check us out. We're going to be at AEW Dynamite in Pittsburgh on April 20th. If anybody's going to be in the area, hey, reach out, let us know.
Let's have a meet up.
Let's have a beer.
It's 420, baby.
I gotta file my taxes before that.
Let's have a beer. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So looking forward to it. AEW in Pittsburgh. Hey guys, man, we might even need to hit this Raw Go Home next Monday. Just saying. We
That's
can
in
talk
Pittsburgh
about
too,
some
huh?
things. Yeah, it sure is, bud. So once we get off here, we'll talk about a couple of things. Anyways.
All right, let me pee and look at money.
Yes. All good. Hey, we appreciate everybody so very, very much. With all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
Bye, guys.